Welcome back to another up close product video. This month round, as you can see, I am sat inside a bivvy, so I'm going to be talking you through the Wychwood Tactical Bivvy and the newly released Wychwood Tactical Compact Bivvy, both boasting plenty of features throughout. So let's have a little bit of a closer look. So before we get anything out of the bag then, a lot of people have been asking about obviously the Packdown weights of the bivvies themselves. So I've got my scales. Let's get them on the bivvies and the extension that I've got for the tactical bivvy, and just see how much they weigh individually. So I've got everything sort of inside the bag. So you're talking, ground sheet, pegs, the poles, and obviously the bivvy itself. So this is going to be at maximum weight. So let's have a little look at the compact first. Let's just hook that on, get these scales on. There we go. That's it, 0. So let's have a little look. So this is the compact. There we go then. 7.91 kilos, so just shy of 8 kilos with everything inside that compact bag. So that's bivvy, poles, pegs and ground sheet, as I mentioned. 7.91 kilos. Not too bad at all. Less than probably most people's bait buckets for a decent session. So less than 8 kilos. If you wanted to take the obviously the Mozzi mesh with you, I reckon that's probably less than a kilo as well. But let's just weigh it for sake of weighing it. So this is the Mozzi mesh, the full Mozzi mesh front. So yeah, not even a kilo, just under a kilo. So if you wanted to chuck in the Mozzi mesh for the compact as well, then that's still going to be under 10 kilos for that whole setup. So I've got here now the tactical bivvy, so the big brother. Let's get them zeroed off. Let's get this hooked on. Zero that off. So here we go then, again, just like the compact bivvy, I've got everything in there. Let's have a little look. 9.33 kilos then, so that is not bad at all for the larger size bivvy. It's still under 10 kilos. And as I mentioned, that's ground sheet, pegs, poles and everything inside there to get you a full setup. Now, one other thing that I have got with me today is the tactical bivvy extension, which comes in its own bag and really does sort of lengthen that front section of the tactical bivvy itself. So let's get these scales zeroed off. Let's have a little look to see what this extension comes in at. Literally just under 5 kilos, 4.98, so let's just say 5 kilos for the sake of 5 kilos. So if you was going on a longer session, then you could probably take the tactical bivvy and the bivvy extension if you were going for sort of like a week session, and that would be literally 15 kilos, just rounding it up at its sort of maximum with all the bits and pieces included. Or if you're going on a shorter session, maybe like a 48-hour session, something like that, you could be taking the compact and say the Mozzi mesh full front for around 10 kilos. So 5 kilos difference there or thereabouts between the two setups. A lot of you guys have been asking about the sort of length in the bags, so let's get a tape measure out and have a little look. So we'll start off with the tactical bivvy. So you are looking at around 160 centimeters, so 1.6 meters for the bag as a whole. Now these bags are oversized, so you probably got about 10 centimeters or so at either end, just to allow you not to sort of fight with the bivvy getting it back into the bag. There's nothing worse at the end of a session trying to get the bivvy back into the bag. So this is at the sort of bag pulled out at its longest. So yeah, you are looking at yeah, around 160 centimeters, so 1.6 meters for the tactical bivvy. I'm pretty sure this bivvy extension is exactly the same, so let's have a little look. Yeah, 160 again, so these two bags are pretty much identical, so we'll fit in side by side, there or thereabouts, at exactly the same length. So as this tactical bivvy is obviously packed out a lot more than the extension is, we're talking around, I don't know, 5-6 centimeters thick with the bivvy packed away inside. So again, you know, you're talking so deep when it's all packed away. So although the bag is quite long, it really compacts down nice and tight. You can probably get that slid in between like the two front seats, that's what I normally do, or down the side of a seat in a car, that sort of thing. So again, like I say, really packs down quite nicely into a relatively small size, even though that bag is quite long. Width wise, you're probably talking not far off the same, between maybe 7 and 8 centimeters wide. So not too bad at all for, like I say, just sliding in the motor downside the seats or in between the front seats. So that's the bivvy extension and the tactical bivvy. Now the compact one was a little bit shorter, as you would have seen. So let's get that one pulled out at its sort of longest. Talking 1.2 meters, 120 centimeters, 1.2 meters. So you're talking sort of 40 centimeters shorter than the tactical bivvy. So you're saving around sort of that sort of length, 40 centimeters. So great for the smaller cars, and like I say, those smaller areas for getting it into your motor, that sort of thing. Width wise, talking 10 centimeters. I'm just rounding these up, so although it packs down shorter, this one is a bit wider. And let's have a little look at the depth. You're talking 8 centimeters, 8 or 9, so it's around, say, 10 wide, 10 deep, and 1.2 long. So like I say, great if you've got a car like me where you play a little bit of Tetris, trying to get everything into its little spaces and nooks and crannies. This one's going to be great for doing that, just because of its sheer pack down size. Just want to point out a few features of the bags that they come in themselves. So these bags really robust, and they've got nice padded ends, which mean obviously when the bits in the bag are just moving up and down, as I said, because there are areas of the bag that are oversized for you to get your bivvy and stuff packed into. They are padded, which means, I don't know, bivvy pegs, parts of the poles, stuff like that. If they are having any sort of pressure put down on the ends of the bags, then they're not going to go piercing through the ends. Now, nice little feature, something again well thought out, because you could have easily just had a really thin bag and it probably wouldn't have lasted the test of time. Now the handles, nice and large in size, kind of take up best part of half of the bag, so you can get that easily over your shoulder and carry it off to your swim. And like I say, just nice and easy just to pick up and get hold of, really. Now if you look at the straps, they actually go around the complete length of the bag, which really do help take the entire weight of the bag. Because you think if they're just going to be sewn into the material, say halfway down the bag, there's a lot of pressure on those those points that are sewn into the bag that eventually are going to come away from the bag itself. So that is when you start to get, like I say, your handles tearing off and stuff like that. But with these straps going around the entirety of the bag, it really helps, like I say, take the weight when you're chucking it over your shoulder, chucking it in the back of the van or the car, inside the shed or whatever. It really does help every time you're picking up and lifting that sort of 8 kilos or so, and yeah, they're not going to tear off. So that is sewn in at both ends of the bag, and like I say, the entirety of the bag. Again, at that end, nice padded area to stop them poles or pegs piercing through. as like most of the Wychwood products that you would have seen in my videos, they got this nice big zip. So again, strong, sturdy, not going to come away. It's got the nice big sort of pulleys on it, which will help getting that bag undone, especially when, like I say, it's freezing cold. You can't wait to get the bivvy up or the brolly up, that sort of thing. These really do help, like I say, just get that zip down nice and quickly, get it all open, allow you to get stuck into the contents. This is the Tactical Compact. Now I know exactly what's in this bag, because if you would have seen from my last video, I'll give it a little road test last weekend. So start getting a few of the contents out. Peg bag, really nice little touch. Could have quite easily just come in a really sort of flimsy, thin bag, but it's not. Nice thick material, very similar to what is used in some of the actual products itself. Feels very similar to a luggage type material, so really nice touch. Ground sheet, again, that is a clip-in type ground sheet, as you can see from the little hooks there. That is a sort of clip-in style ground sheet. Get the tension poles that come in, again, their own little bag, which I didn't use last weekend because there was hardly any wind, and the bivvy was pretty much sturdy without them, to be quite honest with you. And then obviously you have the bivvy itself. So bivvy's out the bag then, just going to look at putting it together. It's got your sort of conventional poles with the elastic running through the middle. Just a case of taking the tension out of the poles, just working it into the pole like such. So just taking the tension out, just working it in. Really simple. They just slide flush inside each other. What I tend to do when building the bivvy is, if I can, just get it laid out on the floor, and it just gives you that area to be able to work from. So before we start to actually peg out the bivvy, on one corner of the bivvy there's a tension strap, and as you can see it has this metal hook on the end. On the opposite corner we've got this tag of material with a couple of sewn in loops. Now all you need to do is just essentially pull the strap over to the loops and literally just get it hooked on like so. It'll give the bivvy some tension, give it some shape before you start to peg it out. Right, so where did I start in setting up this compact bivvy? So I got the two tension poles out of the bag. What I tend to do personally is, as I mentioned, get it laid flat on the floor and work from back to front. So I took the rear tension pole, got that extended so that this back was sort of nice and sort of tensioned and flat. Clip that onto the pole and then started to peg out the bottom so that is nice and tight pulled out. And obviously you can adjust it as you're making your way around the bivvy. I then got the middle tension pole, ran it from left to right to give the middle section, as you can see, some tension as well. Again, that is adjustable, that pole, just as the back one. It has a clasp on it which will allow you to slide that up and down where you see fit to get that again nice and tight. And then I just proceeded to basically work my way around the edge, pulling it out, popping in the pegs. There are so many pegging points on this bivvy. You know, if you really had some extreme conditions, you can get this pulled out pretty much here, there and everywhere. Pegging, like 2 pegging points on the corners there, another one there, pegging point, some extra elastics to really get that pegged out and pulled out nice and tight. There are pegging points all around the back, so one in the corner there, one there, another one there. Literally is all the same all the way around. like I say, you really are sort of out in extreme conditions. There are pegging points absolutely everywhere to keep that in its place, but I've put a number in just for the sake of purposes of showing you guys, but that is rock solid. And you know, and I haven't spent masses of time, as I said, I spent about 10 minutes or so just to get it set up so that you guys have a good idea of what it looks like and the sort of shape that it takes once it's all pulled out. The material itself is a 10,000mm hydrostatic head ripstop material. Now, to you and me, that might not mean much, but essentially what it means is if there was a sort of like a water funnel on top of the bivvy, it would take 10,000mm of water before it starts to seep through the material, and it would be sort of wet inside. So I've been looking at other sort of bivvies on the market, and that seems to be around the right sort of hydrostatic head sort of rating for bivvies that are in this sort of price range, if not better than some that I've also seen online. So this will certainly keep you dry, there's no doubt in that. The ripstop material is pretty much as it says in its name. It's woven in a way that basically is going to stop any sort of rips and tears from being used. So yeah, it's woven in a way that's going to allow you to keep that as it is without getting damaged as and when you're setting it up. Now, coming around to the back of the bivvy, as you can see, massive window to really allow maximum ventilation through those warmer months. So that zips, as you can see, underneath the sort of elasticated flap there to keep that all tucked away, so any rainfall that's coming down is going down the back of the bivvy and not inside. You've got those nice big zips again, and that extends all the way around the back, same as the other side. And look at that maximum flow panel to keep you cool on those warmest of days. Now, on the front rib itself, two rod straps, generous in size and fully velcro all the way from the ends. So a rod in there, get that tucked down nice and tight. That's going to keep it nice and safe in place to stop it from sliding off the rib of the bivvy as you're sort of re-rigging up, or you know, popping around the lake, having a mooch around the lake, that sort of thing. So a couple of nice rod straps on either side. There's a set of zips at the top and a set of zips down the bottom, so you have the choice of either zipping it up, rolling it up, and then pulling the toggle round underneath to this side and being able to have that fully open. And obviously, as I say, there's a zip down this side which allows you to get that right open and rolled up, or pull that zip down. You have a set of zips up here for, again, extreme conditions where you can unzip it down either side and have it sort of letterbox style. So double zipped front, allowing obviously comfort for those extreme conditions, or have it open right up to allow you to get in and out nice and easy. There is the zip, as I mentioned, that runs the entire face of the bivvy. Now that is where you get to put in the Mozzi mesh. So you can take this off completely, strip it off on those hot summer days. If you do want to keep those Mozzis out, then you can strip this off completely, which I will show you once I've sort of given you the full tour of the bivvy. Yeah, you can take that off completely, replace it with a Mozzi mesh, keep those bugs and critters all out at night time, and still have that maximum airflow through those warmer months. Well, there is the ground sheeting. Personally, I don't use ground sheets very much, but if you are out for 48-hour session, something like that, you may want to put it in just for a bit of comfort. Now it clips in various different corners around the edge of the bivvy with these elasticated loops and little toggles. So one there, one on the opposite side, corner at the back, in the corner, in there, and then last but not least sort of on the corners at the front, and that keeps it nice and flush, pulled out nice and tight. So a dummy home setup then. Let's have a little bit of a look inside. We've got my bed chair in place. Down the back, if you can see there's absolutely a ton of space. Because of its flat back on the bivvy, it gives you so much room that runs alongside obviously your bed chair. So I've got my rucksack there, I've got me holdall, masses of space down the back that I could easily probably get another 2 or 3 bags in there quite easily. If you know me, I don't like to take loads of gear anyway. I'm quite a lightweight and mobile angler, so that suits me down to the ground. Got room at the front for my brew kit, my cool bag, my EVA cool bag. Room underneath the bed chair. Got my pack smart under there, so all my tackle and bits and pieces. A couple of buckets. Got my water bottle, and like I say, got room at the front to get in and out where I need to. Obviously when this door comes down as well, you're probably looking along the shadow line, so having that extra bit of space as well to chuck your dirty footwear, that sort of thing. But yeah, overall there is so much space for this compact bivvy. So for those of you that was asking about sort of head space and just general space inside once it's all set up, loads of space around me. I'm around 5'10". There's about 6 inches or so head clearance as I'm sat on the end of the bed chair. It don't feel claustrophobic or sort of everything's on top of me. Everything's kind of got its place, and there is still space around me to be able to move and operate inside the bivvy. So yeah, I don't feel sort of cramped up or anything like that, even though this is the compact version. And not only that, obviously when the elements turn and you need to get this door up, it still gives me the door to be zipped up and that perfect amount of headspace and room to be able to see out that little letterbox, watching the water for any signs of carp. The final piece of today's setup, as I showed you earlier, in that little bag, the Mozzi mesh. Now it zips all the way around this lip. As I mentioned, you unzip out that sort of full front panel, you zip in the Mozzi mesh. It has its own pegging points even on the front there to pull that out nice and tight all the way around the front, and that is a nice thick breathable mesh that's going to stop any of those annoying flying little creatures from getting in your bivvy throughout the course of the day, keeping you comfortable on the bank, keeping you nice and cool. And that, coupled with that vent at the back, is going to allow you maximum airflow, keeping you nice and cool and comfortable of a summer evening. The tactical bivvy, as you can see, got the bag of pegs, got the tension poles, bivvy itself, the ground sheet wrapped up in there. Exactly the same style of bag with those padded ends, those nice big zips, and those straps that run the entire length of the circumference of the bag, giving you a nice big handle again to get over your shoulder, and that safety that it isn't going to rip or tear when you're lifting or carrying this bivvy to and from the lake. So let's get it out, get it set up, and have a closer look. So setup wise then, got the tension bars on the bag, clicked onto the first rib, ran it down the back of the bivvy into the little ring, pegged that down in place, and then just pegged out the corners in a nice straight line. What that'll do is give the back of the bivvy a nice and straight angle for you to work from for the rest of the setup. So from the back bar, I then got the middle bar out, ran that from rib to rib, and extended that right out to give this middle section a nice bit of tension. I then got the 3 remaining tension poles, which is for the peak, so 1 in the center, 1 on each side in the break of the material, and that just gives out that peak. Again, nice bit of tension, and keeps that all sturdy and strong. And as you can probably tell, the wind has picked up as well, and yeah, that ain't going anywhere. So what I then proceeded to do is pretty much from the corners, just like the compact version, is just pull it out, tighten it out, and give the sides and the front a nice bit of tension. And as you can see from the front and the back, it's all pulled out nice and flush. So just like the compact, as you can see, loads of pegging points all around the base of the bivvy. I haven't used them all, but in extreme conditions you can get that literally pegged right down, and that ain't going anywhere. So there are a few differences for the tactical bivvy compared to the compact bivvy. Now as you can see at the back, the window, the breathable windows are split into 2, so you can have one or the other, none or all. And these again just unzip underneath the lips of material there, so there's full zips that run all the way around, through down the whole of the bottom of the window, revealing that breathable mesh. It'll allow that airflow, and exactly the same for that side. So yeah, you can have pretty much none at all, 1 or 2, depending on just how hot it is. Making our way round to the front, you've got those 2 rod straps again, full Velcro all the way across, keeping your rods in place as you're getting them all set up. The front is a little bit different, although it has the full zip running around the complete edge, allowing you obviously to take out that full front section. The doors are removable, which means you can get a clear door and a Mozzi mesh door. So instead of having the full Mozzi mesh front, the doors are actually the replacement parts for this bivvy. So like I say, you can have the full front door like that, a clear door, or a Mozzi mesh door. So a very quick look at the inside then. There's your two windows that can be opened up, either one or the other, or both. Taping all around the inside to keep all those seams nice and watertight. There is that door rolled up, as I said, all the way, so you've got maximum room getting in and out the bivvy itself. And I think it's time to get the ground sheet in, get some bits and pieces in, give you an idea about space wise inside this one. Well, let's have a little look at the inside. So again, another little dummy setup, but it definitely feels bigger inside. Got my rucksack and my hodl in there again, and that's you know, that's spaced out nicely, not on top of each other. Got a whole half of the bivvy at the back down there. More space wise, could easily get 2 or 3 more bags down the back, you know, clothes bag, whatever. Loads of space. Now the bed chair is the compact bed chair, so it is the smallest one in the range, and it fit nicely inside that compact bivvy, but there is still space at either end of this bed for bigger bed chairs that will easily fit inside there, just for the fact that there is space at either end of the bivvy. At the front again, you know, loads of space. Got me EVA call bag in there, got me kettle and whatnot, obviously space underneath the bed. a couple of bait buckets in there, and that ground sheet, as you can see, compared to the compact, does come right out to the front of the bivvy, giving you even more space at the front. Loads of room at either end of the bed chair, down the back and in front, so I'm not feeling crunched up or bent over as I'm sort of looking out over the lake. I could even get a bed chair buddy on here, sitting back and just kind of relaxing without feeling like the sides are coming in on me. You know, making rigs as well in and around the bed chair area, cooking down the front. There is space for everything. Now I would recommend this one will probably be more suited to longer sessions, 48 hours plus, and even those sort of week-long sessions either in the UK or abroad. So certainly one for those like I say, those longer sessions, and having everything tucked away in its place, maximizing all of that space that you've got inside this bivvy. Let's take a look at tactical bivvy extension. So another bag of pegs, so there's going to be no shortage on pegs on both of these bivvies. Tension strap, the extension itself, and obviously inside there are poles as well. So again, in that heavy duty bag, padded ends, and oversized for ease of packing away. That is the extension on, and as you can tell, it kind of like gives another third of floor space to an already spacious bivvy. So again, as I mentioned, if you're doing those longer sessions, week-long sessions, you can really have ultimate space. A little social area at the front, cooking area maybe, put all your cooking bits and pieces in there. Again, it's got the door that rolls right up, numerous pegging points all along the bottom, and it has an elastic end which essentially wraps around the poles that make up that second rib on the bivvy itself. Now this is a 5000mm hydrostatic ripstop material, so again giving you even more protection from the elements. Rod strap at the front, on either side, to stand your rods up against. So everything that was pretty much on the front of the bivvy has been replicated on this extension, meaning that you're not missing out on any features. Now as you can see on the inside, what I didn't actually realise is that there's a ground sheet for the extension as well. I haven't put it in, but you do actually get one that will cover all of that front area if you really wanted to extend that ground sheet from inside the bivvy into the extension area as well. So even more comfort, and that will go right up around the edges, giving you maximum comfort whilst out on those longer sessions. From the inside then, the way that the extension kind of fixes itself to the main part of the bivvy is with 3 of these tension poles, and they essentially just clip onto the peak. So 1 in the center, 2 running down the sides. You just push them out so they are extended, and then that again, like the bivvy, is nice and tight. So with that door down, it's so dark in here. The door, there is a zip that runs the full length, clips on at the top with the little toggles, and like I say, you can have that again letterbox style because they are double zipped. One last product then that I do want to show you is this tactical 4-rod support. Now it clips onto the frame of the bivvy, as you can see, padded foam and 4 velcro straps that will keep your rods in place. So if you're reeling in, going for some food, going to use the facilities on site, anything like that, when 2 aren't enough on the frame of the bivvy, this will just give you optional sort of standing up space for your rods, your spod rods, marker rods, whatever rods you want to basically use it for. But it's like I say, it's nice and padded, extra space, and just a nice little finish to the bivvies themselves. This will fit on the compact and the tactical version. But yeah, neat little idea, just to give you that extra storage space, an extra safety that your rods ain't going to go blowing over and damaging when you're out in session.